Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 4 of the top 5 questions and answers, fueled by Hot Pockets, made with 100% real cheese, and of course my favorite flavor, the pepperoni pizza with 11 grams of protein, keeps me fueled for those gaming sessions. Well, Hot Pockets also has a sweepstakes going on that you can enter in daily, with winners drawn every single month. Click the link in the description to enter, and without further ado, let's jump into the top 5. Obviously, this month there's been a lot to do with Star Wars, and the first question is, what did I think about the Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta versus the first beta for Star Wars Battlefront 1 back in 2015? If you remember back to Star Wars Battlefront 1, that was focused on the map Hoth with their Walker Assault mode. Really cool mode, and I enjoyed that. That was their big scale 20 versus 20 mode, and it was a good preview of what was to come. Partially, though, of not that much. In the beta for Star Wars Battlefront 2, we've already seen 10 times the amount of content in terms of the mode, 20v20, the Assault on Theed, with 3 different sections to it rather than just one objective walking across the map the whole time. You have the objective at the beginning, then on the interior objective capturing the 2 points, and then at the very end, essentially King of the Hill mode. So it was kind of like 3 in 1. Plus, you had more starfighter options in terms of the space combat to use in that large game mode, and in terms of the actual, there's not just Luke and Darth Vader, but there's 4 heroes that we got to choose from, and there's these other reinforcements that you could keep deploying in as. So a huge improvement in terms of the overall quantity of content. And this is just in the beta, so my hopes are really high. Coming in for question 2, though, was what was the biggest improvement from Star Wars Battlefront 1 that I am enjoying in Battlefront 2? And for me personally, that has to come with the actual soldiers and the different class systems that they now have, where you can play as the specialist, assault, however you really want to play. It gives you that option. And what's interesting is that this is actually how Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original one, was. A lot of people have been saying, well, they just took this over from Battlefield 1 and Battlefield in general, that franchise, but this is something that's actually been around in this game since its original version. It was something that I enjoyed, and it's actually something I really enjoy in Battlefield system as well, where you can play a specific way. That type of segmenting allows you to have a lot more options in terms of your overall gameplay, and that, to me, is what is going to allow this game to have any longevity to it. Star Wars, it's going to be really fun based on how many different experiences they give us. We're going to be able to play through it, and that's how much time we're going to be able to enjoy it, right? You could play through all the different map scenarios, and the more of them that they have, the more that we're going to be able to play. After that, then it really comes down to playing the same thing again, and the way that you make that experience new is by having different ways to play it, whether you're going to be the person supporting or the person sniping, trying to find all the good sniper spots on each of those maps and scenarios, and really, that's where you're going to find more of the exploration in these types of games. From what we saw already, I'm pretty excited. Coming in for question 3 is related to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. What have I been thinking of the Mini 14? This is the newest sniper rifle that's been implemented in the last update, and when it first came out, obviously there's a lot of hype around it. Everybody wants to use it. Of course, I'm going to use it pretty much no matter what because it's the new gun, but how does it actually factor into the game? We saw this with the VSS when that first came out. Everybody was really excited, myself included. I wanted to continue using it and always use it, but it turned out to be very situationally based. It's not really the best if you're going to take somebody in a gun-on-gun battle, but if they have no idea where you are, then it's definitely the best gun to use. That being said, the majority of the time, you don't have those opportunities to get the flank on somebody, or even if you do, a regular gun should work fine. You don't need to use the VSS for that, so it's not really one of the guns that I prefer to use in my arsenal. The Mini 14, though, absolutely is. Because it has the fast bullet velocity, one of the fastest, if not the fastest in the game in terms of when you shoot, how fast it gets to the enemy and hits them. That means it's less bullet drop, less lead time that you have to worry about, and it's in the sniper category, the fastest firing one that you could use. Even though you can't put it on the full auto like you can the MK14, it's also much more common than the MK14. Like all of the other guns, though, they all fit a specific scenario, a specific situation. The reason why I think the Mini 14 is better than a lot of them is because of how versatile it is. You can use it for the long-range kills, although it's not going to one-tap somebody out from that far unless they, for some reason, don't have a helmet on. It'll do a lot of damage to them, but you can also use it in very close range. You can't do that with the KAR, so you have a lot more versatility there. And if somebody's running through a field, the Mini 14, because of how fast you can shoot, it acts more like an assault rifle, giving you much better odds of actually killing that running target than trying to take a shot every couple seconds with a KAR or any other bolt-action sniper. You just have a lot better odds. Question 4. How have I been liking Fortnite versus PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds? If you haven't heard about Fortnite yet, I actually did a sponsored live stream and video with them on my second channel a few weeks back, because it actually is now out as a full free battle royale game that is playable on the console. A lot of people have been just waiting for PlayerUnknown's to come out on the console, and this is kind of being a tide me over type of game that I think a lot of players have been getting into. That being said, a lot of comments that I've seen as well are just completely not into it because of the art style that's in the game. It's a bit more arcadey than your military-esque or realistic type of shooter game. Personally, it is one of my favorites in terms of just a casual, fun game that's it feels a lot easier to me to play and more relaxed. It also has much shorter games, with the pacing of the game being, in my opinion, quite a bit better than PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. That being said, I think that's a big factor because the map is about half of the size. So each game only lasts about 20 minutes even if you win, versus a 40 or so minute game for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds if you win. So you can also get through a lot more games much more quickly. What I'm not a big fan of, though, is the shooting mechanics in terms of the RNG-based shooting. There's only one gun that has a scope on it. If they introduce more, that would be fantastic. But with only one that has a scoped and hit scan, that being as soon as you click, it immediately hits the target, that scoped AR is extremely, extremely powerful. There are still some bolt-action guns that the semi-auto sniper and the regular sniper, which can one-shot somebody if they don't have a shield, but the bolt-action that is. But it's just the bullet drop and everything is so extreme, it becomes very difficult to use. It can be a free kill, and I do like that, but the weapon balance in the game is a bit difficult. The thing that really saves it for me, though, is the crafting system, because that allows you to be out in an open field and craft something to actually save your ass. It adds a whole nother layer of skill to the game that you can take advantage of over the players who might not be able to build as quickly or may not use the right strategy for the right time. I still think PlayerUnknown's is going to be king, especially once it is out on console, but this is definitely a fun battle royale game, and it's free, so, you know, I can't hate on it. And finally, question number 5. How was the Call of Duty World War II beta, specifically on the PC? I actually did some live streaming of this and gameplay of it. I did it for back on PlayStation 4, and now I've played it on PC. Damn, is it buttery smooth on PC. I really was enjoying it, but for me, Call of Duty and getting the game early, getting the DLC early, that is a much more critical component to me. Especially creating content about it, being able to talk about it. If I don't have it, then I can't talk about it if I haven't experienced it. So that being said, likely PlayStation's just going to be the option that I go on. Same thing with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. When that comes out on Xbox, I'm definitely going to be playing it there as well to try it out and experience it. But I had already experienced COD on PlayStation 4, and on PC it was a very similar experience. The same game, but at a much higher frame rate, more smooth in terms of the overall graphics, and that's just the performance that a PC can pump out. I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing it on PC quite yet. Let me know what you guys think about it. Thanks so much for watching the top 5. Again, a huge thanks to Hot Pockets for sponsoring this series. Let me know what questions you guys have for next month in the comments below. Tweet them to me, send it to me on Facebook. And until then, thanks for watching. This is StoneMountain64, over and out.